Russian man like inside the dark, call me Bill Snatcher. Just the brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a garden and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys a major update for Boruto manga chapter 70. We have full spoilers. This time it's coming courtesy of Abdul over on Twitter, so make sure you go give him a follow over there. Much props to Abdul for giving us the spoilers. So like always, I'm gonna go over the spoilers that really caught my eye based off of the full translations that Abdul got. Gonna go over in detail all that information that really stood out to me, and then I'm gonna reserve judgment until we get the physical chapter tomorrow. So keep notifications on because we will be doing the review tomorrow, and I do have a second video scheduled to come out today. It's a video I've been sitting on. Really think you guys are gonna enjoy that one. So getting right into the actual spoilers we got. So according to Abdul, one of the key things that we can take away from this chapter is that Shikamaru went from being an absolute idiot to he's continuing to showcase that big brain of his. And even though Amato has been taken into custody by Code, it looks like we might find out more about Ada's dojutsu simply because Shikamaru recognized exactly what it was as soon as he saw it. And that is so interesting right there, because what that tells me is that there's likely a scroll somewhere, whether it be a scroll that Sasuke might have gotten from one of those Otsutsuki dimensions that he got from Kaguya's dimension, or it might be something that is one of those scrolls that are left behind from Hagoromo's time, something that was viewed as being something like a myth, but there was knowledge of the Senrigan. And what I like about this is that it's implying that this isn't new and it's at least known to some people in Konoha, and this isn't the first time that Masashi Kishimoto's pulled something like this. So if you go back to Naruto's manga, we didn't know what the Rinnegan was until it got name dropped, and we got all this lore dump information when it came from Jiraiya. Jiraiya saw it and was like, oh my god, I think that's the Rinnegan, the eyes of the Sage of Six Paths. And that's when we found out, like, oh god, okay, Pain's got this super overpowered dojutsu. This is something connected to the Sage of Six Paths. So I kind of like what we're getting here from Shikamaru. It looks like when Shikamaru does his debriefing to Naruto and Sasuke, that's when we're going to get that information on what the Senrigan actually is, not just what Ada told Code. Now, moving on a little bit, I like how Shikamaru basically has this plan in place where he's telling Naruto, need you to stay on the other side of this door because Naruto's inputting the command code. He's trying to get in. Naruto's trying to be civil about everything. And Shikamaru's like, look, I don't want you to fall susceptible to the enemy's jutsu. I can't break it down for you right now because the situation is too tense. Because as Shikamaru's talking to Naruto, Ada is on the other side of the door, and Shikamaru is trying to convince Ada to join Konoha simply for the fact that it'd be the easiest way for her to get her hands on Kawaki. And Naruto, in that moment, my good buddy T-Bar made a really good point, which is, he said, like, yo, the Raikage wouldn't have cared about this. If the fourth Raikage would have seen that, like, yo, there's a door, it won't open, he just would have smashed through the door. I got a response to that one, man. So, homie, I get what you're saying, but Naruto's more civilized over here. Like, the Raikage was a little bit of a ruffian. Naruto's more civilized. That's why Jigen, when he walked into Naruto's house, was like, good day, sir. I'm sorry I entered in without taking my shoes off. We civilized over here, baby. That's why Naruto wasn't worried about that. That and, like, that door is probably expensive as hell, man. You think my man's gonna take a Rasengan at a door and have to foot the bill for something like that? All them times Konoha been destroyed and rebuilt, that shit costs money, fam. They still recovering from what Ishiki did. Come on now. Now, moving on though. I like how we get a little bit more information with Kawaki, where Kawaki, his dojutsu isn't activated anymore from what we're seeing on these translations. And what it looks like is that Kawaki, he's very pissed off at Amato. He's looking down at his karma seal. He's like, I can't believe that he gave me the karma seal without any of my consent. And he says, on one hand, I'm pissed off, but on the other hand, I'm glad that I have the power to protect Naruto. So once again, we're seeing that Kawaki, his whole character is getting more and more centered around Naruto. And what I like about that right there is that Kawaki is showing more about his fear for Naruto's safety, because he tells Sumire that I was worried And if I didn't have this karma, I wouldn't be able to protect Naruto from Momoshiki. Momoshiki would have killed him. So in Kawaki's mind, Momoshiki's Rasengan could have killed Naruto. I mean, it's possible. It remains to be seen, but it's possible. That's what the implication behind that is. And I like how Sumire actually speaks up, and she is telling Kawaki that she believes Amato gave him the karma and that he has his reasons. And that kind of makes sense that Sumire would be the one that could speak to Amato's sense of mind. And I really want to read more of this simply for the fact that this is a bullet point summary. I want to read a little bit more simply for the fact that Sumire should have some really good intel on Amato because she's been working underneath him. So she would know how to read Amato. So congrats to everybody that was making the memes about Sumire with the side eye. We can officially retire all that right there. And best of all, Sumire, when she's speaking whole sentences that don't have Boruto as a noun or a verb. So congratulations right there. I didn't know Boruto could be a verb, but Sumire finds a way to get it done. Chalk one up for character development, baby. Now, the other thing that kind of stands out about these spoilers right here is that Shikamaru is continuing on with this streak of just proving that Shikamaru is the biggest brain genius that we got in Konoha, because not only did he launch this layered trap on Code, but he also got Code's ally to kind of get brought out, and he's able to gain intel on Ada. And what we see in this chapter is that it's hammering home a point that Part 1 Naruto made, which is that you have to be careful how you use your special jutsu or your ace in the hole jutsu, your Kekkei Genkai, or in the case of somebody like Shikamaru, your hidden jutsu, because a skilled shinobi learns ways to break it down just after seeing it once, which is the whole point behind Tsunade's training of Sakura and the time skip where Tsunade was telling Sakura that you got to pay attention to the smallest movements that your enemies making. The more skilled they become, the more skilled they are at reducing their movements and hiding them. But you have to be able to be skilled enough to pick up on it, because those small habits that they have when they do their different jutsu, you're going to be able to find that weakness. And what Shikamaru figures out here is that he's like, okay, when Ada is using her Senrigan, the eye turns black, and that's when she's focused on one individual scene, because Ada is like, okay, Kawaki's coming. So Shikamaru's gaining intel as he's watching Ada. And I like this right here, because when Shikamaru goes through and he briefs Naruto and he briefs Sasuke, they're gonna have more intel on how to potentially start planning against Ada and factoring that in, because you have to believe that since Code has now taken Amato, they have to operate on the assumption that Amato is going to take Code's limiters off, and now you have the whole situation of Sasuke is already located Code's hideout, so now they need to potentially start an Amato rescue arc, or are they going to operate on the assumption that Amato's already dead? That's going to be interesting right there. So those are the aspects of the chapter that really stood out to me. As always, I would do a thorough breakdown in the chapter review, so keep notifications turned on. That review will come out as early as possible tomorrow. So always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.